I have a question to you. If you can see the graphics on the screen, the ITLF has rejected any conversation with the Chief Minister. The Tribal Forum says that we are not going to talk with the Chief Minister. Now, in this case, when ITLF, a Tribal Forum, says we don't want to talk with the Chief Minister, how do you think the conversation is going to go forward? Before I return to the issue of women, the first question, how big is this forum, ITLF? Do you think it's a credible forum? And if ITLF does not talk, do you think it impacts the peace process? First to you, Professor Hang Seng, and then Nabakishore ji.
Okay. See, the Hill people have lost faith in the Chief Minister and the government of Manipur. So therefore, as I said it again, in order to have a dialogue or even come to some semblance of peace, there should be president's rule. When there is president rules, I think ITLF will have no problem talking with the central government.
Is ITLF a credible force, sir?
Talking with Biren Singh, the Chief Minister.
Sir, is ITLF a credible force?
They are a credible force.
Okay.
So they have lost faith. Not only them, the Hill people, the Kukis, the Jomis, they have lost faith in the Chief Minister because he is unable to control it. Now, as you can see, from day one, they have been saying that there is no law and order. And now we can see with our own visual, which is very fresh. Otherwise, the visuals are usually very old, very fresh, and we can see what is happening. Complete breakdown of law and order. It has become a failed state. Manipur has become a failed state. So if it is a failed state, there should be president rule. Let the army take it over. Let there be peace for a while. Let there be no killing for a while. Then we can start talking about it. When we can start initiate dialogues and then peace process, those things will start. As long as this killing, as long as this tendency to go and burn the villages continues, I think it's not possible to have peace in Manipur.
Okay, so Nabakishore ji, before we go back to the issue of women, would you like to come on the ITLF issue, or would you like to speak upon this this thing of women coming out? What explains that?
Kartikeya ji, I will touch every point.
Okay.
And it is very important to let people know through your platform. You have been doing a very good job to create awareness of this issue to the mainstream mainland Indians. Now, the first, even our Major General Ashwini sir also used this term, Madam Gangte also used this term, that the Meitei women, I accept, these are all Meitei women, we call the Meitei Ima. So, they are not being used as a human shield. Please, we need to respect. They just not used by someone. They have just come voluntarily. Even they are not bothered to lose their leave. That's very, very critical. Okay? And why they are doing? Because they lost the trust to the current central security forces. There are many evidences. Rapid Action Force team, they have damaged property of civilian, Meitei properties. Another incident, they have arson someone's shop. Those are all captured in the CCTV. Do you think that it's like a Delhi where every house is having a CCTV? Wherever CCTV footage is not there, they may be indulging. Then the recent, another incident, there was a alarm bell, okay, jo ghanti bolte hai na, so that ghanti was put in villages, in the Meitei villages, so that if anything happens, then one can ring and then people can alert it. What happened is that the central security forces, the midnight, they came and rang. People came outside, they felt that there's something, attack is happening probably. And what happened? The central security forces, they beaten up them. Then how come the civilians will have any trust? They feel that these central security forces are coming to kill them. Why the Assam Rifles blocked the police station of Sugnu? The Meitei in Valley feels that the central security forces is coming to kill them. That's all. We are frightened. I was there in the Manipur. I went to check the ground zero, what's happening. And it's spiraling up. It's spiraling up because of the various incidents reported. Do you think that these people are mad? They don't love their life? You have not heard in Jantar Mantar, some of these women leaders came and what they spoke? This is the reality. So the solution is, we are not talking this solution, the all party meet the leaders. I was expecting at least they know the problem. They know the problem, but they have not. That's very unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. They should have told that the Sioux militants, they have to be disarmed. There should be more effective way of operation. If the people have lost trust in the Assam Rifle team, then there should be alternative measurements. It's too late. Okay, did I answer all of your questions?
Yes, you answered my question, but there was an added question to it, because we are asking two things here. One, the uniqueness of the women protest, and secondly, is ITLF a credible force in Manipur, sir? That's my first question.
Okay, now coming to the ITLF. What is the full form ITLF? Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum. And who represents? This is the Kuki community. Naga leader already tell that don't use yourself as a tribal leaders forum. The first question, are they indigenous? No. Are they tribal? No. Then how come we don't consider they are as a credible organization? Even the Naga people, they don't consider them as a credible organization. Then how they can come to for a peace talk? This is my straightforward answer. And Madam Gangte should have some sensible. Madam, I respect you. You have a bigger role here. Why you are just touching the one-sided story? You are a woman. You know the pain of this woman very much, maybe more than me. They're just not used. They have come. The protest previous and today is different. Today is different because they feel that their husbands, themselves, their sons, their kids, they will be killed. And it happened. That's why.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Gangte, I think you
think
should respond to this.
you have not listened the whole thing. What I was telling
No.
was
Okay. You have not listened the whole thing. Nabakishore ji, please 2 minute में बताइए मैडम गांगटे साहब क्या कह रहे थे.
Madam Gangte, what I said is, you are very veteran. You had a you could have done a very good role in this. The Meitei, the way you elect, the way condemn of this Meitei woman, at least that point, actually, I don't agree. Because the Meitei woman, they protested earlier also, okay, when there is a full-blown militancy issue was there in Manipur decades back. But today, the way they are coming, it's very much different. That's the only thing. You should have more sensible in your comment, because your talks a lot to the both community. That's why. Thank you.
I have heard that. What I said was, you misunderstood me. This is what I said. I did not condemn or I did not say anything against one community. What I'm saying is that in every community, women coming out to block the army is wrong. Not only the Meitei, even if it is the Kukis or the Nagas, anyone. Because today what we need is peace. And in order to have peace, I think we should allow the army to come into our areas, and then only I think we can ask for peace. Because what we are facing today is, one question before I go on, why is the central government so reluctant to impose PR? Once PR is imposed, everything would be taken care of by the center. So today, no panelists or nobody will have a point to point fingers at one person or a community. We want peace. So the center must impose president's rule, number one. And number two, because we know that the chief minister has failed the state, the chief minister has failed over all of us. So why is he still on his chair? He must resign with dignity, even after so many days of arson, burning, and killing. So it is more than time for the CM to sacrifice his chair and then let the center rule the state for some time so that peace is brought back, so that we have a room, a space to talk to one another, create an atmosphere where women also could speak up. I think another thing why I said human shield, I am a woman. I feel the pain that women, whenever in our society, in Manipuri society, irrespective of Kuki, Naga or Meitei, in our society, what I faced and I experienced was, if there is anything, then they would bang the electric post. All of the women would come out and all the men would go inside. And then we would be fighting against Armed Forces Special Powers Act. And I was one of them. We fought against Armed Forces Special Powers Act. We women stood in the front. But in a situation like this, we should allow the army, because situation is different, as you have said. As situation is very much different today, women should not be used to blockade and then hinder the peace process or whatever the army is trying to keep peace, from arson and from killing one another. So let us allow the army to take a step and implement whatever rule there is, so that we have a space and a room to talk to one another, create that atmosphere. This is what I am saying. This is what I'm trying to point out, because I know the role of women in Manipur. We are very strong, but at the same time, we should not be allowed to be used by anyone. This is my point.
But this might allow the introduction of AFSPA in disturbed area, Madam Gangte, if this continues?
Sorry?
This may lead to introduction of AFSPA in disturbed areas if this continues, Madam Gangte?
Well, AFSPA has been, still in operation in the hill area. But in the valley, in many of the areas, this has been revoked. It's been already taken out. There are so many aspects. There are many factors. But one of the greatest factors is, I want the central government and the state government not to play the policy of divide and rule. The central government must impose president's rule, so that the army is not accused by some communities that it is siding with another community. Because at the same time, the tribals or the Kukis also feel unsafe before the Manipur commandos and IRBs. So as both the communities feel very insecure, it is high time and even more that the central government must impose president's rule and let us bring back peace in the state. At the same time, I also want to answer one thing which Professor Nabakumar has just said, that Kukis are not indigenous people and that the Nagas are indigenous people. I think I do not need any certificate from anyone that I'm a citizen of this great country called India. And as I am a citizen of this great country, I'm also a citizen of my state, Manipur. And my forefathers had fought for the independence of this country. So I think calling one another foreigners, refugees, and immigrants, I think this is something which at least the intellectuals should never indulge in. This is one thing where people have been instigated and then fight against one another. Because today, if I'm called a refugee or an immigrant or a foreigner, how would I feel? So nobody has got a right to call anyone refugee or foreigner. And the central government must see this one little point I want to put.
Okay.
When we came to Delhi or to some other metropolitan cities, we had been called chinkies. That the word chinky was resisted by all of us. And the central government was very sensitive to this. Now, just calling somebody chinky has been resisted, and people got so mad and they even went to the court. Then if I'm called a refugee today or a foreigner, how would that community feel? So this kind of indulgence in such derogatory manner should be stopped especially by the intellectuals and by the CSOs, so that these things should never divide us and should never rule amongst us, so that peace is brought back. These little things are very, very important. It has really broken the closely knitted society that we Manipur people had. And today, I feel very sorry to say that mentally and physically, slowly, we are being driven apart, which is very painful for me, because I love my women, both in the hills and valley, who also helped me so much in my election, and this I would never forget it. So I love my state, I love my Manipur. Nobody has got a right to call me refugee, and I represent all my women of Manipur, for whom I also fought in the parliament so much, and nobody has got a right to disintegrate us and to bring Manipur to such a state that the whole state today burns, and the central government and the state government must bear the responsibility.